Hey y'all, my name is Susie Logan of Suziness Designs. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so excited to be here with you today. I can't wait to show you how to assemble this flower party design. It is part of my spring baskets collection. I'm gonna go ahead and speed through real quick and just let you see the other baskets that are part of the collection, and then we'll get started. These little baskets would be perfect for a little party. You could place them right in the middle of a place setting and sprinkle a little bit of that paper crinkled grass around them and drop a few little candies, put a little gift inside. It would just be precious. And they really are multi-purpose. They actually can double as a mini lantern with an LED light. If you have a little LED light you can put on the inside of them, especially the little color changing ones, that would be so cute. Today we will be assembling this flower party spring basket, design ID D-1324752. Tools and supplies you'll need: a cutting machine, a cutting mat, a mini spatula tool, a weed tool, pencil, scissors, ruler, colored cardstock, preferably 80 pound, a glue stick, and scratch paper for gluing. You should have this is the wall for our basket with the longer petals, and it has little tabs all along the bottom. We have that. Then we have 2 sets of these smaller petals. Okay, and we have a piece for a liner or for an outside extra piece if you want to put a different decorative pattern like on the outside. You can use this as your template. I'm holding on to the little diamonds just in case you want to decorate one of your eggs with that. And you should have a nice little piece of lattice that we're going to use for our basket handle. And you're going to have eggs that are not going to be part of the basket, but you can use nonetheless. Okay, so you've got 2 double sets, and these, set those aside. You don't need the eggs right now. And then you're going to have a larger circle and a smaller circle. Okay. Sheet of our stamens. Okay, and you're going to need tools. Have a pair of scissors on hand. A sheet of paper that you can, scratch paper that you can paint, you can glue on. Keep your workspace nice and clean. A ruler. You will need a glue stick, and you will also need a little bit of double stick tape. And a pencil. You're going to need a pencil. Here we go. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to want to do is let's get our smaller petals over here, and let's set these down. So I'm going to take them off my scratch paper so you can see them. Let's have them to where you can line them up so that the petals are in between the other petals, or somewhat in between. They don't have to be exactly perfect, but see what I'm doing? I'm not doing it straight on top of the other layer. I want them to be able to go between. Like when I fold this one down, I want this one to be on top, covering that little layer like real petals do. So we're gonna line that up to where it's offset just a little bit. So see that? About like 1/4 of an inch. So let's glue those 2 things together, just on the band part. Okay, so first, I'm gonna take this, put it right here, and I'm just gonna do a layer of my glue stick right on there. I want it to be good on there. Good. And then I'm gonna take this layer and I'm gonna set it on top of that one in between. So that they're in between. Then I'm going to press them together. Okay? And then I'm going to take my larger petals, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put them on here. I'm going to take the glue stick and I'm just going to run it all the way down the back of this little piece that I've already glued together. And I'm going to set this between, okay, so the petals, I want the ones, it's not really gonna matter much, but I'm gonna try to make sure that layer also goes in between the other petals. And I wanna put it high enough so where it's gonna, I want it right there up at the top, so that it's right up here at the top, right along with it. See, I don't want to see the space between those. I don't want to line it so that the space between the other ones matches these. I want a petal to show through. So we're just going to do that. Get that. Ooh, I slid it over. Put it on there. And then press it down. Okay, now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to bend all our tabs on this one. I'm going to use a ruler just to make sure I don't go too far. I realized after the fact, right here, I needed to put the ruler right up against where those cut lines are. Because if it's not there when you roll this into a cylinder, the paper that you are rolling around is not cut, and so it's not going to bend smoothly. You want it right up against those cut lines. It's toward, whoops, okay. I'm doing those up, and see the same direction as the inside of my box where you're going to see these little petals. This is the inside of our little basket. So I'm going to trim off that one little bit right here. I want that to be flush with the other. And this other little bit on the other side. So I'm going to bend them back the other way a little bit, and I'm going to put glue on those. And I'm going to do it on the inside of it. We're going to glue it down. We're going to glue this to the outside, but we're going to do it on the inside so it'll keep it neat. So I am putting a little bit of glue, like a inch worth of glue, that we're going to want to overlap. So we're going to do it inwards so that all your little petals are on the inside. And we want this to overlap. See right here? We're going to match it up to right here. It's going to cover this one little space right there. That's how much we're going to aim it. Covering up and matching up. So we're going to put it together, and then you can use your fingers and kind of press it together good and let it dry. But actually we don't want to let it dry yet because we want to keep these things that we put glue on. We glued on these tabs. I tell you what, let's go around the outside of this circle just so that we are sure that our tabs are going to stick. And actually, you know, you could actually go ahead and glue this whole circle because actually it's going to be sticky. Yeah. You could kind of, it doesn't matter how much you go over because we are going to glue this other circle to it and sandwich those together. So put a good bit of glue stick all the way around. And we're going to take our cylinder little wall and we're going to, okay, so we're going to stick that on there and we're going to use our fingers. I'm using the back, so my fingers, I'm using my fingernails and using that to kind of press it to this thing. It's just not wanting to stick, it's wanting to slide. But the good thing about rubber cement is it kind of grabs it. Now I'm going to get my sheet of paper and I'm going to put glue on this whole one. If you haven't cut out your thing yet, cut the circle, the smaller one, a little bit smaller. Because if it's not smaller, it's not going to slide in there. It's not going to want to go all the way down and hit the bottom. So put it in there. Yeah. That's better. I made mine a little bit smaller. And now that I've got it down there, I am sandwiching those together. And I'm just going to do like this. Okay. And I think a piece of double stick tape works pretty well for this. I think it's probably going to do better than the glue. But you're just going to take your pencil and wrap this around the pencil. Or if you want it to be smaller, you can do it around like the edge. You can do it around a little teeny paintbrush. If you've got a smaller paintbrush, you do it all the way, almost all the way at the end. And then I'm going to hold it in my palm and grab a piece of double stick tape and put that right there at the end. And then we'll keep on rolling. Press it down good. I think I could have put it a little bit closer to the end. It would have been better, but it's not really important. But now I have all these stamens and they're all kind of stuck together. I was thinking what you could do if you wanted to, you could put a little bit of glitter glue on these to make them cuter. You can take a pencil, you know, if you want to make them a little bit curly and kind of, I'm just taking it and curling them a little bit, some of them, and some of them straighter. Let some of them stick out a little bit. And these are just the stamens, and it's just for decoration. And anyway, and you could put a pencil in here if you wanted to. And stick it in there. Or you could take like a lollipop. I think a lollipop's a really good idea because you can hide the stick of the lollipop. And you can put the lollipop in here and it can be like an anchor. You just hold it in your thing and then it can be a surprise. Speaking of surprises, let's go ahead now that it's kind of dried a little teeny bit. But we want to style our petals. The little smaller petals on the inside. I like to take the little petals on the inside layer, the very inside, and kind of push those inward. And look what it does. It kind of makes, it's kind of like a little, it's kind of sealing the top and hiding it. It's like a little, so you can put your little treats in there and then hide them. Oh, can you see that? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cover it all up and pick it. I hope I didn't. But see, I just did the inside layer. All these are from the inside. I pressed them all down, and it's kind of like a real flower. And then you can take these outside ones, take that pencil, and you can just curl them a little bit with a pencil like this. See, I just put my thumb on top and the pencil underneath and hold it tight. And then just sort of drag it around and curl it a little bit like that. So I'm just rolling it between my finger and the pencil. Just give it a little curl. And if you wanted to, you could do even more of those little petals. On the inside, you can do another layer of them if you wanted to, but I don't think you need another layer. I think this is plenty. But you could do more colors, more things. So you can just use your pencil to kind of curl these. I'm curling them out a little bit. Looks like it's wanting to open up. And I was thinking earlier, you know, with the yellow one, when I did this, I was thinking, you know what? It reminds me of the sunflower, and you could do brown paper on the inside, right here. You could do brown paper on the inside, and then it'd be like a sunflower. Okay. And with this other one, you know, you could do a different color, even yellow, like on one of the layers. This looks like it's wanting to come apart a little bit, so I might have to go back and put a little bit of glue there. I didn't quite get enough glue right there on the corner, but that's probably where I was trying to put that looks like it'd be a great place for the handle. So the handle, the glue's kind of dried, so I'm gonna put a little bit more, and a little bit more there. I could use double stick tape there too. That's another something I could use, but I'm gonna put the glue facing the wall and smash it between that and that. Take it over there and work it between, or like I just pulled this away from the wall and now I'm sliding it in there because you want it between the wall and the little ones apparently. But you can just do those little circles, the little petals all on the inside, inward like that. There we go. And then we have our little stamen thing right here. You style those the way you want to style them. Style them. And stick that in the middle. Isn't that fun? And I think some glitter glue would be fun, little on the end where the pollen would be, you know. I think that would be super cute. And then with your little eggs, what you can do is all those little diamonds that were part of the lattice, you can just take a little glue. Just put a little bit of glue here, and I'm just gonna rub the little diamond on there. Oops. I probably would want a different kind of glue thing for this. Hey y'all, I've got an ever-growing collection of over 1,500 background patterns in the Silhouette Design Store in my Suziness design shop. From sweet Easter vibes like adorable Easter egg motifs, playful bunny designs, and lots of things like rick-rack and stripes and painterly abstracts, farmhouse plaid, speckled textures, so many more feels and styles. If you can dream it, I probably have a pattern for it. So go check those out to add a perfect pop to your project. On this little card, I had an extra piece of this heart lace basket that I had put together previously, and I just trimmed the edges and put it on one of the eggs. And didn't it turn out cute? I think this would be great for a little place setting marker. There's the basket that I made, but here, you know, I think it would be cute for a place setting marker, or, you know, or like a little gift card on the basket. Isn't it cute like that? I think it's just adorable. I think the basket turned out so cute. I love it in pink. It's fun to see in pink. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more of these.